What's going on? It's April the 3rd, 2025. This is another Shane's Views Weekly podcast where I talk about mainly world news, and then I also include a little bit of sports. Let's just start off. Really not much to talk about this week. The less things I have to talk about, I always say this, the less things I have to talk about, the better. So you just know that Trump is doing a great job, no matter what legacy media and the fake news wants to have you believe. But great things. April 2nd, yesterday was Liberation Day. This is where President Donald Trump issued tariffs all over the world. Biggest talked about tariff is a 25% tariff on all foreign vehicles that are being imported into this country, into the United States. Basically, Donald Trump wants imported vehicles, imported companies to come and open business here in the United States and make these cars in the United States, and then he will not tariff you at all. Wise words to all of those foreign car brands. Just come to the United States, open up shop, open up some businesses here, manufacturers where you can make the cars in this country also, and you won't get tariffed, very simply. And the countries that he is tariffing, these are countries that tariff the United States of America. If we don't get any tariff from any other country, we're not going to tariff those countries. Basically, he's tariffing other countries because they're sending tariffs to us. I don't understand what people don't understand. It's very simple business. And he's not tariffing some of these countries as hard still as they're tariffing the United States. He's being a little bit light on them, but he's sending them a message. Knock down the tariffs and we'll knock down the tariffs on you. It's very simple. It's very simple business. But the fake news will make you think that he's going to fuck up the economy by doing this and so on and so on. It's nothing worth expanding on. It's basically what I just told or what I just said. It's very simple. Don't tariff the United States and we won't tariff you. If you tariff us lightly, you'll get tariffed back lightly, but you're still going to be tariffed. If you tariff us heavily, eventually you might get tariffed very heavily, or even more than you're tariffing us. And already you have Canada that's saying, okay, well, we'll take our tariffs away if Trump takes the tariffs away on Canada. So that's going to probably be something that's going to be resolved pretty fast because you already have Canada saying this, and I'm sure other countries are going to follow. Anyway, it was a great day yesterday, having Trump up there talking his shit like he always does, educating the people that need education, and even the ones that have education getting more education. Whenever I listen to him, I feel even more smart when he's done talking. So that was really the big thing about this week, was Liberation Day. I mean, there's not tons of stuff going on. Let's take that back. We did add 2 more seats to the House for 2 Republican victories, but Patriot and Fine in the state of Florida. They both won their districts, and we've gained 2 more House seats. There was a Republican Supreme Court versus a Democratic Supreme Court battle in Wisconsin, which the Democrats won, but a lot of people are saying that there wasn't a lot of congressional votes that were counted somehow. They're deeming it more corrupt involvement in that election for Supreme Court in Wisconsin. I haven't really looked into it as much. To me, it was more important gaining 2 more House seats, expanding the House majority for the Republicans, so the Democrats could sit there and they could, be happy that they won this, Supreme Court, voting. But in reality, they lost this week because, again, the Republicans gained 2 more House seats. So that was another win for the Republican Party. And you can't win everything in this country. You're always going to have some states that swing one way or the other. It's just the way it goes. Mayor Eric Adams, he's not going to be facing any type of penalty, any type of jail time from New York City. He says the next time he will go back and run for mayor, but he will run as an independent. So he's done, obviously, with the Democratic Party as they're done with him. This is a guy who really was, playing by the same rules as all the corrupted Democrats over the last few years. He was okay with illegal immigrants coming into the country. He was, really not okay with. He was okay with it until recently, when he basically went against that. Also, was going against the Hamas protests at colleges. So he stood up. He finally woke up a little bit in those two areas. And then once he did that, the Democratic Party said, okay, we've had enough of you. So then, of course, they come up with shit on Eric Adams. They try to, falsely smear him. And I have a buddy of mine who says I don't trust him. I mean, once you see somebody do bad stuff and get manipulated by money, you have a hard time maybe actually believing that they've, are going the right way. But I think Adams, by basically saying that he's an independent even and not even, wanting to align himself with the Democratic Party anymore, he's definitely had enough of that side and sees what's going on. And for that, it's a good thing. Also, really, I mean, this might be the fastest Shane's Views podcast in history, because I could sit here and I could just keep harping on the same stuff over and over, but I don't like to do that. I kind of like to go, I see what happens in the course of a week, and then I talk about it the next week. That's how I go. So everything that's happened in the last 7 days, again, we're at Thursday, April 3rd, everything that's happened in the last 7 days, as far as most important world news in my eyes, which usually does involve politics, and then I bring that up, I talk about it, and it's really just to praise Trump this week again. And again, we still have the war going on, or I guess a temporary halt in Ukraine, Russia, but nothing is totally solved or agreed to as far as a permanent ceasefire, peace agreement, or anything like that. You do have the corrupted Zelensky that's trying to back out of his minerals deal, which Trump says if you do that, you're just going to have problems, because if you're backing out of a deal that you already agreed to, you're not getting into NATO. So he thinks he's going to get into NATO if he agrees to this, and that was already agreed upon, that they're not going to be in NATO in the Ukraine. And this is a corrupted guy, and again, that I've been saying this forever, and that's a part of a corrupted regime in the Ukraine. So anyway, I just see bad things for Zelensky ahead. He's not a good guy. There's not good people unfortunately in the Ukrainian government. At least there's a lot that aren't, or maybe there's some that are. I don't know, but I would say everything I read about it is it's very corrupted. And again, everything that you're hearing in legacy media makes it sound like that Russia's the bully, Russia's the bad country. No, that's not the case, and everybody will see that eventually. But sometimes it just it's going to take a little bit of time for the whole story to be untold. But anyway, for the innocent citizens in these countries, the innocent people that just want to live their life and don't want to cause any harm to others, or be involved in a war, for that I hope that the war is over. But sometimes there is a purpose, and I feel like that there's way more of a purpose to this war than just simply wanting to take over a territory. Putin wanted to take over a territory. I think Putin realizes who the Ukrainian is running the Ukrainian government. He realizes a lot of bad things going on there, pedophilia, big time racism in that government, in that country, just things that things he sees, things he knows, again, that aren't reported here for many reasons. And it always involves money. at the end of the day, it's always money and people sharing money. And Sleepy Joe, he's been in bed with the Ukraine for a long time, and Hunter, and I'm sure others. So anyway, going back to Trump on some of these tariffs, I did see that certain Republicans are also trying to halt some of the tariffs, mostly Democrats, but certain Republicans. These are also probably Republicans that are, have kickbacks from other countries. And they feel like if the money is not, going around in these ways that they want them to, without the, if the tariffs are issued, that they're not going to maybe get the kickbacks that they've been getting. That's what I'm assuming, because what Trump is doing again makes total sense. Again, if you tariff us, we tariff you. If you don't tariff us, we take away the tariff that we issued to your country. So it's very simple. So anyway, I'll tell you again, I'm at the 11-minute mark, and this is really all I have to talk about in terms of world news right now this week that I could possibly think of. There's nothing really else. I believe President Trump today, April the 3rd, is at Doral for the Live golf tournament this week. He was supposed to come in for the Pro-Am. And then I read on the weekend he's supposed to be mainly at the Trump golf resort in Jupiter, actually. So I would assume, he'll go there and golf during the days. He'll stay at, of course, stay at Mar-a-Lago. But he's supposed to just be golfing, I think, at Trump Golf in Jupiter for the weekend. So I guess he'll stay through Sunday, and then he'll head back to the swamp. But always good to have President Trump. He's been here, I think, every weekend except for one, when he went back to Bedminster. And I know soon, when it gets into the hotter months, like it's starting to get hotter now, he does tend to go to Bedminster a little bit more in the summer months. And then he comes back here to Florida like around September. So I'd say around, I think it's Mother's Day is when he usually heads back to Bedminster for his off weekends. Around Mother's Day, he'll probably start going back there more for a couple of months, and then I'm sure he'll still come back here also sometimes in between. But anyway, it's a great thing having him come here for the weekends and golf, get his relaxation in. We love having him here, obviously. So now I'm going to go, and I also wanted to touch up on this. I didn't bring this up a few weeks ago. There was some fat ass woman on a subway in New York City that was basically sitting there and lambasting a person that was doing nothing but riding the subway, getting to where he had to go because he was wearing a MAGA hat. And she started giving him the riot act, that you're wearing this, you're racist, this and that, this and that. She actually tried grabbing his hat. She fell down on her fat ass, hit the concrete. Too bad that she didn't hit it harder than she did. She looked like she was still conscious. It's too bad that she didn't knock herself at least unconscious. She obviously needed to learn a lesson, so that was a bit of karma right there. Telling her, shut the fuck up, wake the fuck up, and that was the receipt you got, falling on your fat ass. So that was a few weeks ago. I actually forgot to bring that up, but I'm glad that happened to her. She's a piece of shit. Now let's get into sports. The Final Four in college basketball is starting. I don't have, again, anybody I'm cheering for. I was pulling for Tennessee because that's my dad's favorite. That's where he's from. That's his favorite college. But they lost, and they're not going to the Final Four. So it is what it is. So I don't really give a shit who wins the NCAA basketball championship, because I don't have a favorite team. So I don't really care. The big news, of course, of the week, this past week in baseball, is the bat that they're trying to make it like the Yankees, the torpedo bat, that it's the Yankees that invented this bat. Meanwhile, there's other teams in the past, other players in the past that have said that they've used it. I'd have to do the research to name this. I know Giancarlo Stanton for us actually used this bat last year. But you only have, right now, you have 5 Yankee players that are experimenting and using this bat. So it's not even half of our lineup is not, more than half of our lineup is not even using this bat to begin with. So and again, it's by Major League Baseball rules. These bats are tested before the companies, can present them, send them to the players. This goes through a protocol. So there's rules, how long a bat can be, the width, the thickness. Okay, so the barrel in certain areas might be a little bit thicker with this new torpedo bat, but it meets within the perimeters of the rules. So why players didn't do this in the past or look into this in the past, I'm not sure. But it is within guidelines. And, you're going to have some players, they do this shit analytically. So, our analytical department, they were looking into things. They saw that a few of our hitters, they benefit better contact-wise off of a certain area of the bat compared to other players using the more traditional bats where the barrel is. So, like Aaron Judge isn't using it. He says, look at my numbers. Look at what I've done my whole career. This is nothing that's no reason why I should even experiment to a torpedo bat. And then you have Jazz Chisholm using one, Cody Bellinger, Austin Wells. That's 3. And I'm not sure the other 2 because according to Cody, it's 5 of our hitters that are using them right now. So that's 3. But Judge says he's not using it. Stanton says he will use it when he comes back from the IL. But you have other players now using them with other teams. Other players have been using them with other teams. And it might benefit you a tiny bit, maybe contact-wise in a way. But as shown, there's several players. Francisco Lindor for the Mets, I think he was using one every game so far. And he just got his first hit the other day. So you still have to have the bat speed. You still have to make contact with the ball at that point of your barrel. Just like it will not benefit you if the ball is coming a little bit lower, maybe than where the barrel is on these torpedo bats, and it will benefit those hitters that are using the more traditional bats. They're going to have more meat on that area of the bat. So pitchers are going to adjust. They're probably going to see who's using these bats. They're going to probably try to pitch hitters a certain way to where they feel like that the hitter doesn't have the advantage with the torpedo bat. Anyway, it's more shit that the media could just fuck with the Yankees really and say, oh, it's the Yankees. It's always the Yankees. They're the bad guys. They're breaking the rules. Again, these bats are tested before the Yankees can actually use them. These are legalized bats. So there's nothing with anything that they're doing. This is by Major League Baseball guidelines that have not changed. This isn't new rules for the bat, width, length, or anything. It's following all the guidelines that have been in place. So anyway, so much for that. I'm not going to harp on it. It's just a joke, and it's legal. That's all I can say. And the Yankees have started off the season 3-2. Obviously, I want to be 5-0. They blew the first game of the series to Arizona. They were up by 2. Mark Leiter gives up a fucking grand slam home run to Suarez in the 8th inning with 2 outs. Arizona wins that one. Then yet last night, they jump out early on Rodon, go up 4-0. Yankees come back late in the 9th. Volpe hits a 3-run home run. They lose 4-3. And look, Garrett Cole's not there this year, obviously out with Tommy John. And we have other good players that are going to eventually come back and help us. Clark Schmidt, Luis Heel, Giancarlo Stanton, several bullpen arms are going to come back and help us. Jonathan Loaizaga, Ian Hamilton, Jake Cousins, just several guys that can even upgrade the team from what we have now. So I can't get that stressed out and that upset that they lose some of these games. It sucks. Like I said, I'm a competitor. I want to win every game. Like Jazz Chisholm said the other day when they were interviewing him after they swept the Brewers 3 games. He said, it may not be reasonable. It's not realistic, but our goal is when we come into the locker room, for the next game, that we're going to win that game. And we want to win all 162 games and beyond, going to the playoffs and winning those. Well, since he made that statement, we've lost both. But, shit happens. So anyway, I don't really have anything to say on the Raiders this week. They did sign Devin White, linebacker, had a couple of good years with Tampa Bay. I think we'll see. I think it's a very small contract. It's $1 million. He was more of a backup last year, but I think you translate him to more snaps. I think he can, he has 100 tackle capability. Not the greatest in coverage, but most linebackers aren't. And that's why we put 3 defensive backs out there in our defense and 2 linebackers. We have the draft coming up 3 weeks from tomorrow, April the 4th. So 3 weeks from tomorrow will be the NFL draft. And then we'll be adding some pieces there. The Bulls, they did clinch a play-in spot. I'm hoping that they get the 7-8 seed. Right now they're at the 10, but they're within a couple of games of the 7 and 8. So hopefully they could get one of those. Then they would only have to win 1 game to actually get into the playoff. Blackhawks, again, miserable season. Lots of close losses, but they're losses. Getting a lot of the young guys up. Should be better next year. I said that last year, and they weren't better this year. So anyway, that's all I got to say. Like always, like the hat says, make America great. This is the silver black version of the MAGA hats. If you want your official MAGA gear, go to trumpstore.com. This is where you get the official hats, not the bootleg hats. They're made the best. The United States flag symbol, Trump written on the back of the hat. Big bold letters. Hat is strong and sturdy. Not like the bootleg versions, but if it's okay if you have a bootleg version and that's all you can afford, then it is what it is. At least you're supporting the greatest president and the greatest administration and the greatest name in political history of Donald J. Trump. So that's all I got to say for this edition of Shane's podcast. I'll be back next week, and unless something crazy happens. And that's really all I can think of. I mean, it's like I said, it's been a great week. And this is, I could sit here and I could talk about food and movies. I don't want to make this podcast. I could talk about pussy. I don't want to make this podcast about all this stuff. I just want to keep it to worldviews and some sports. So I always throw in sports at the end, usually on my teams. But if something important is happening, or if somebody just won a championship in a sport, even if I don't give a shit about that team, I'm going to recognize it. So just like I'm telling you, the Final Four is coming, and when one of these 4 teams wins, then I'll highlight and congratulate the champion. So now Alex Ovechkin will swing to hockey. He is 3 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's goal mark, which I believe is 894. So I think Ovechkin has to get 895. He's sitting at 892. And there's only so many games left in the regular season, maybe 7 or 8. So it may be something he doesn't break till next year. But I'm figuring he's probably going to get it this year. And I'm hoping he does not get it against the Blackhawks, because that's the next game. And we actually beat Washington earlier in the season. And the Blackhawks are, the Capitals are the best team in terms of points right now in the National Hockey League. And hopefully he does not tie or break this record against us, or even get 1 goal against us. I don't want to see any of these goals against us. He could get these last 3, but I'd rather not any of them be on us. Specifically, the tying and the breaking, definitely not. Don't want to see that. So anyway, we play them tomorrow, April the 4th. I believe the game is in Washington. Anyway, I'm highlighting that because Ovechkin is close to a very big record of breaking the all-time goal mark in the NHL of Wayne Gretzky. And they say Wayne Gretzky will be attending the games now, since it's only within three. He's within 3 of breaking. So Wayne Gretzky will attend these games. I guess until he breaks, he's going to go to all the fucking games. So Wayne probably don't like that. He probably hopes it happens really fast, like tomorrow in Washington, but I hope not. So anyway, make America great again. I'll see you next week. Until then, see ya.